Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Craig Marr again. A lot of you are curious, what am I rated? Am I really qualified to teach these chess videos? Well, my US rating was 2390 when I retired, about 18 years ago. My FIDE rating was, what's the difference between US rating and FIDE rating? Well, the FIDE rating is sort of like an international rating. It's, considered, legit. Anyway, my FIDE rating when I retired was 2372. That's, usually around an FM or an IM strength player. But however, I never did get the IM title. When I was in my prime, instead I got the FM title, which is actually a little bit easier to get. Anyway, I retired from tournaments probably about 20 years ago, but I still play online today. But, of course I'm not as strong as I used to be. Today we're going to be discussing Zugswang. What the hell is that, you say? Well, in German it means you have no moves. You're busted. Okay? Usually, you get Zugswang in the endgame, but here we're going to be discussing the middle game Zugswang, which is a really beautiful thing to get because there are all these pieces on the board, and yet the position is so bad you can't move any of your pieces, or if you do move them, it's still a hopeless position. Now, I want you guys to start playing with ideas. I feel that many of you, when you sacrifice in the middle game, you don't have a real idea, you don't have a theme behind your sacrifice. Now, in today's game, I played a piece sack which looks a little bit speculative, and this is when you get into the advanced stages of chess where there's no winning material. There's no checkmate. After you sacrifice, all you got is terrific compensation. And it's this compensation which makes up the so-called brilliant looking game. Now here I was white against an opponent rated 2283, so he's a strong player. But nevertheless, the sacrifice worked, and let's go through it. Okay, now I opened up with e4, c5 Sicilian, and this is an invitation to the Smith-Morra Gambit, which he doesn't accept. This is what I call the kind of chicken out variation from the Smith-Morra. Now, you can't accept the Smith-Morra, and I believe it's one of those gambits that you can accept it, But here, we're going to go into also well-known lines. Now this is not normal. Normally you're supposed to play the knight out and attack the queen. So this is probably not as good, and it kind of took me by surprise. What the hell am I supposed to do here, So anyway, I decided to check, which isn't that great, but he kind of got me out of book. Now here I can take the knight. Let's look at the scoreboard up here. See, the computer is telling you what's going on. Says that I should castle here, and then I should take the knight, after bishop d7. And so this little board to the right gives you an idea about what I really should be doing, and that's castles. Castles is number one here. As you can see, castles is number one. What I did, however, I did castle. And then here the computer recommends that I capture the knight. That I do bishop c6, bishop c6, and then I move the rook. So this is what I should be doing, but instead let's see what I did do. Here's what I actually did. I went here, and the computer says total lemon, and now it looks like if my opponent plays bing, 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 I'm simply down a pawn, and I don't see any real compensation for the loss of my valuable e-pawn. That pawn on e5 is worth its weight in gold. So I screwed up. I screwed up. Let's go back to where my opponent erred. He could have just won this pawn on e5 outright, and it's a valuable pawn. So let's look at what my opponent did. He went there. Okay, that's a lemon. And now it says the correct move is bishop e2. But I thought I played a better move. Sometimes, you know, we will disagree with the computer. I played here because I'm preventing castles. You castle, it's going to be checkmate on h7. My opponent played a good move. Now that forces me pretty much to take, and now you know, I have to decide what am I going to do with these queenside pieces here. You know, there's a little traffic jam. I can't move the bishop anywhere. If I go here, he takes it. If I go here, he's going to kick the piece around. If I go here, this is actually the square for the knight. So I decided, well, I'm just going to leave the bishop on its original square. So I came out here with the intention of coming out to a good square on c4. You know, I would like to kick the knight, but I'm weakening. So if I play the move c4, I'm weakening too many squares. And I'm cutting off a valuable landing spot for my knight. So I don't want to play c4 and interfere with my own development. Let's see what he played. Now the computer recommends f5 is number one here. f5. Kicking the queen back and then getting these pawns rolling. So this has not been really a very successful opening for white. Knight f6 is a kind of lemon, and now the computer wants me to go back. Go back, queen e2 is number one. Let's see what I did. I thought my move was okay, but the computer says white is better. You see, there's no reason to move the knight from its beautiful outpost on d5 to actually a lesser square in which it's kind of defensive. So let's see what, now the computer says go back. But it's very hard, obviously, for a player, once they, you know, made a move, to admit their mistake. So of course he doesn't go back. The alternative is bishop e7, but probably the worst move of all is what he played, and that's castles. One of the number one rules I have to tell you guys is don't castle into an attack. And that's precisely what black is doing. Look at the scoreboard here. Knight c4 is already up 1.62 already. Now why is that such a crushing move? Why is this such a devastating move? Well, first of all, I'm going to get the two bishops. And the dark squared bishop is a very valuable minor piece in this position. So let's let's see what I did. This is correct. And then he has to go back. And now, bingo, number one. The computer already has me up, almost 2 points here. The thing is, I'm threatening bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop. Now this is what I'm threatening. I'm threatening bishop captures. And then I'm threatening, this. So he's got to play here. And now I should have sacrificed right away. See, I was trying to finesse the other guy. I thought kick the queen back first. But this allows him to equalize with the crazy knight d5. See, if he plays here, he's actually going to escape his just punishment. But he didn't find it. How many people would have found that? So anyway, he played more human, queen d8. Now I sack. And now he's in super trouble. Computer says you're down 3. And now why is this so strong? Well, we have a middle game Zugswang. Try to move any of these pieces. You move the bishop. Here, I capture. You move the knight back here. Checkmate. So black is already in super trouble. Let's see what he did. Rook e8. Now he's trying to get bishop f8 in. And now my next move is devastating. See now, if bishop f8, let's see what happens if he tries to kick my queen away. Then boom, boom, this is forced. And now checkmate. So that's what would have happened if you had gone bishop f8 in this position. So look, the computer already says it's like you're down 8 points. That means it's over. So let's see how the game finished here. Lemon. See, he just totally overlooked my threat. Bishop check. Knight takes bishop. Now a lot of you are able to finish the game at this point. Check, check. And now there are 2 ways to mate. I can mate queen h8, or I can just mate queen takes f7. And that is the end of this game, folks. Thanks for watching.